Then, a chance encounter with his idol changed Manfred's life.
Among us, Belka was the only one who had shot down an enemy airman. I asked, "Tell me honestly, how do you really do it?" To which he laughed and replied, "Good heavens, it is indeed quite simple. I fly in as close as I can, take good aim, shoot, and then he falls down."
He was a reckless fighter. Falling out of the sun, he would fly unseen underneath his opponent. With nerves of steel, he waited until he was less than 15 feet away before firing his Lewis gun directly into the cockpit above. Few escaped such merciless treatment.
We have some very fascinating accounts of some of the fighter pilots at Verdun. This is a serious battle to the death, both on the ground and in the air. And one of the early French fighter races, a fellow by the name of Albert Derrien, landed one day after an aerial combat with the Germans, and his mechanic observed that his helmet, his goggles, his face, the upper part of his airplane were all covered with blood. And Derrien just matter-of-factly replied, "I shot from very close."
Air combat was becoming more complex and more brutal.
He had been within 10 meters, in other words, 30 feet of the German two-seater that he shot down, and had put about 25 bullets into both of the crew members. And he was very pleased with his accuracy, and he said it was delicious to descend after that combat.
Bader's first aerial combat was marred by overenthusiasm. He himself says that he attacked the bomber with insufficient thought. He opened fire too soon, he missed the aim-off point, and the bomber escaped. As a result of that, he thought hard about it and realized he should have relaxed, gone in closer and done what his heroes of the First World War would have done, made sure that he was in position to hold his fire for as long as possible before actually opening fire.
2 days later, Bader was more successful. This is how he described it.
I saw a 109. Like me, he must have been a beginner because he stayed there while I shot him down. And I didn't get him with the first burst.
However, experienced pilots thought 250 yards was too far away and had their guns synchronized even closer.
I had my guns towed in to 150 yards as not to provide a spread, but to provide a pinpoint, so that all the guns were supposed to, all the bullets should have bounced off each other at 150 yards. Well, that meant if you got in close, you were really hitting hard.
Air warfare, particularly between fighters, is not about two equals dueling. It's not like a couple of knights running against each other, being equally armed. It's about ambushing someone. It's about creeping up unseen and shooting someone in the back.
I myself was a specialist at shooting from directly behind, as close in as I could get. And then I would dip slightly, aim at the plane's back side from underneath, and fire a quick burst.
I think about 80% of the people during the Battle of Britain were shot down by people they didn't even see.
It's much more like hunting, and you sought out prey that were defenseless if you possibly could. So it wasn't very romantic at all, in fact.
Du musst die Wolken kennen. Du musst versuchen, eine vorteilhafte Position einzunehmen. Fliege in die Sonne und greife von der Sonne aus an. Stürze überraschend herab, versuche unter das feindliche Flugzeug zu kommen und steige mit voller Kraft auf. Der Feind kann dich nicht sehen, da ihm seine Tragflächen die Sicht nach hinten versperren. Dann musst du angreifen. Du musst dich gut umsehen und dich versichern, dass er von keinem anderen Flugzeug gedeckt wird. Fliege so nah an ihn ran, wie du dich traust. Warte, bis du den Gegner im Visier hast und drücke ab. So spart man viel Munition.
I told my pilots always, only if the windshield is filled up with the enemy, then pull the trigger. That saves you a lot of ammunition.
So we've got a good tail chase going on.
Right. He's in a right turn, and obviously he led him precisely correctly. He is firing out quite some distance ahead of that plane.
And we're getting some hits on the wing and then this enormous explosion. What's going on with that aircraft?
I would have to think he laid one right in a fuel tank. The beauty of this is there's no question about confirming the kill.
This piece of footage also shows us a dilemma you have as you close on your target on the enemy aircraft and you get a large explosion like that, you've got a debris field in the sky.
That's right. If you got too close, it was as hazardous to you as it was to him. One day we broke out of the clouds and we're right in the middle of a Japanese formation. We actually had to throttle back to get far enough away from a plane to safely shoot at it. If we'd shot immediately and it blew up, you were gone too.
Pilots were tenacious. They wouldn't stop until their enemy had been blown out of the sky. Watch again as the Hellcat machine guns take a wing off this Japanese bomber.